Hey guys, how we doing? Today we're going to be talking about how you can get your credit score up to that 800 range. If you have at least one active trade line or account and a good payment history for a year or two, you'll have a FICO score of above 700. Here are the factors that determine your FICO score. Paying your obligations on time is essential, but your credit utilization or your amount owed is also critical. It refers only to revolving accounts, which are credit cards. Conventional wisdom tells you to keep your credit card balances below 30% of the credit limits to have the highest score. That is the advice, that used to be given everywhere. Most people are wrong. You start to lose points when your balance on any card exceeds 10%. A 30% balance or higher is the point where you lose far more points. A credit card near its maximum can, cost you about 75 points or even more. Paying your credit card balances in full each month is the best practice, but even when you do, you could be losing valuable FICO points. If you have a card with a $500 limit and a $400 balance, your utilization is 80%. You lose 50 points or more, even if you pay the balance in full when you get the statement. Credit utilization is based on the balances reported to the bureaus. Card issuers report balances at about the same time they send out statements. Tip number 1. Request regular increases in your credit limits. Higher limits lead to higher scores. As long as you don't let your balances get out of hand. In the example, like I just stated, a $400 balance on a card with a $5,000 limit won't lose any points. The average age of accounts makes up 15% of your score. FICO keeps considering closed accounts for up to 10 years, but you should keep any cards you have now, even if you don't need them. Use them a few times a year to keep them active and pay the balance in full when you get the statement. A consumer with just one or two active trade lines is said to have thin credit. Their scores tend to be more susceptible to influences such as additional inquiries or new accounts. Increasing the size of your credit footprint will make your profile more robust and should help you improve your scores. Tip number 2, maintain at least 4 active accounts. Credit cards work well for this purpose. Use the cards regularly and pay the balances in full each month to avoid interest charges. You do not have to owe money to have a high FICO score. You can get close to 800 by just using credit cards alone, but a credit mix, which is having different types of credit in your account, is about 10% of your score. Whenever you get a car loan or mortgage, you might see your score temporarily dip because you just took on more debt. However, that mix helps you in the long run and it helps you diversify your credit, which we've spoken about before. Having different types of credit will add to your score, but you don't need to necessarily go in debt to build credit. This refers to what most people look at when they get a card, and there's a bonus on it that says, hey, if you spend $2,000 within the first 3 months, we'll give you this, or if you do that, and so on and so forth. People don't use cards for just everyday expenses. So if you can't see yourself spending $2,000 on groceries and gas and this and that like you would as just a regular person who maybe doesn't own a business or doesn't send money here or just doesn't do things like that, then probably that card isn't a good fit for you. And that's something where a lot of people have to kind of start being real with themselves about credit cards. Is this a good fit for me? You'll see a bunch of people talking about, hey, I got approved for or pre-approved for the platinum card or the gold card or this or that. Is it should I get it? Is it worth it? And if the annual fee that high, pretty much $700 annual fee isn't worth it to you, and you can't see yourself using the benefits enough and this and that, if you don't make enough, then it just doesn't fit you, and that's okay. Tip number 4. A score of 760 will get you any credit offers you want. Having a score in the 800s gives you just a sense of pride and pretty much bragging rights, but not much else. You have a score of 760 if you have a clean payment history for the past 2 years, at least 4 active trade lines that are 2 years older or more, credit card balances of, less than 10%, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't take much to get you there, but it does take time. Be sure to understand that your old accounts and accounts age in general is a big part of what makes you, a customer to these banks. It makes up a lot of, is this person mature enough to take on this fund? So understand that, and you will see all the time where people who might just run into hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, you'll see it on YouTube where banks just really just don't even want to touch them. So understand that you have to build this, and the age is going to take its own time because it's age, and that's fine. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Hope you guys implement these steps and you can get to 800 on your own. And I hope you use every one of my tips to get you there. Let me know down below if you're implementing anything and how it's helped you in the future or in the past. Have a good one, guys.